and welcome to yet another interesting package of the program. CSR Digest is a program put together by Total Exploration and Production Nigeria Limited to look into their corporate social responsibility programs to hosts and neighboring communities. Today we are looking at various projects executed, commissioned by Total EMP at Rumuekbe in Emohua local government area of Rivers State. Rumuekbe community in Emohua local government area of Rivers State came alive when the management of Total Exploration and Production Nigeria Limited visited the community to inaugurate a number of people-oriented projects. The event attracted a lot of fanfare as traditional dances by Ekbe beautiful ladies and action dance group of Ndele entertained guests. Projects commissioned include Community Primary School, Rumuekbe, Community Secondary School, Rumuekbe, Ovele Mvakohia Ancestral Home, Rumuekbe, 2 blocks of open shops in Ovele Mvakohia, Rumuekbe, and 2 blocks of lock-up shops in Imogu, Mvakohia, Rumuekbe.
We are here now to commission the construction of 6 classroom blocks at Community Secondary School, Rumuekbe. Today being Thursday, 21st June 2018. And therefore, by the power vested on me, and therefore commission this 6 classroom block in the name of the Father, Amen, and of the Son, Amen, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Now we are commissioning this project and handing it over to the community for use. So on behalf of the power vested in me, today, I want to commission this project in the name of the Father, Amen, in the name of the Son, Amen, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. In the name of the Father, Amen, and of the Son, Amen, and of the Holy Spirit.
Addressing the people, Deputy Managing Director, Port Harcourt District, Total EMP Nigeria Limited, Mr. Francois Lecoq, attributed the successful execution of the projects to the relative peace existing in the community and enjoined them to sustain it. Represented by the Community Affairs Advisor, Enefiok Akpan, Mr. Lecoq reaffirmed Total's commitment at developing Rumuekbe community in line with its corporate social responsibility policy.
Each project was conceived to address specific deficiencies in social infrastructure within the community. This is indeed the reason why the model of implementation of MOU commitments between Total and our host communities is skewed towards communities nominating and executing projects that satisfy their peculiar social and environmental needs.
On his part, Manager, MOU Implementation and Strategy, Josiah Otto, lauded the community for maintaining the peace needed for completing and handing over of the projects and urged others to emulate to enable companies operating in the area fulfill its MOU commitments.
Let this occasion today be a conviction to all Rivers people and Nigeria at large, in general, that peace has finally returned to Rumuekbe. We should therefore not allow any person or group of persons to derail this assertion. I believe other TPNG staffs should be given the same kind of hospitality that we are enjoying here today.
Rumwebe community representative in Total E&P, Mr. Richard Ajoro, thanked the company for its support in completing various projects and rated it the best.
It is heartwarming to inform you that among these multinational operating in Rumekwe community, Total E&P Nigeria Limited is second to none.
The event also featured goodwill messages by stakeholders, inspection of ongoing projects, traditional display, as well as wrestling competition. Welcome to the discussion segment of CSR Digest. CSR Digest, like I said, is a program put together by Total Exploration and Production Nigeria Limited to express some of its corporate social responsibility to host and neighboring communities. Today, I'm here with the representative of the Rumwebe community in Amuahua local government area of Rivers State, and is here to discuss some of these issues with me. I'm here with a barrister at law and a representative of the community. Ezugbo Emmanuel, you're welcome to CSR Digest. It's a program that you need to, talk about the corporate social responsibility of Total E&P in your host community. Now, sometimes last year or early this year, we came to Rumwebe community to inaugurate 5 projects, including market stores, halls, schools, and all of that. How do you look at the corporate social responsibility policy of Total E&P in your community?
I will start by saying Total E&P Nigeria Limited, in terms of its corporate social responsibility, for some years now, they've tried as a company by doing some projects which have added value to the lives and persons living in that community, being my community, Rumekwe. Especially the Mbakohia extraction of Rumekwe, where they have their military stations and also installations. Like you mentioned, some time ago they actually were in the community to commission some projects, and so far so good. Some of those projects are still there, while others require some rehabilitation, some maintenance work to bring them back to a level where people can use them, like the market square. So they've been trying as a company, they have. Though there are some areas they still need to come up and also make better. There's always room for improvement. I cannot score them an A, but on the average, comparatively, they've done better than some of the other IOCs we have in the area. They've done better comparatively.
Okay, now when you look at the comparative, the comparison you are talking about now, in what areas has Total, cited an economic value project to your community? Because when we came in, we looked at these projects, and from what the CDC or the community representative then said was that those were based on needs, the community needs assessment. Did you agree with that?
Well, what he said then actually may not be too far from the truth, because from the little I know about these projects, before ever Total executes any project, they depend on nominations from the community, which should come through their representatives. So when such is being done, before ever the representatives nominate, of course, ordinarily they should interface with the community to find out what particular needs they have before ever such projects are nominated. So whatever thing Total did then, they did not do on their own. They did based on such nominated projects from the community's representatives and implementation committee members. So I believe then what they nominated to, we are good, because we had a market, the rehabilitation of our market. We also had a civic center, which they were supposed to have finished building. And ordinarily, such projects have some values to the community, especially the market. because every community should have a market, a reasonable market where those from there can trade, both intra and intra within themselves, inter between them and other communities, neighboring communities who come there to buy and also sell. And I believe when that market, as we have in Charlie Ovelin Bakoya, was done, because it really served, as an economically viable market where our people sold their wares. And also there was a health center which they built at Ekuche in Bakoya, Rumekwe. That health center was supposed to serve as a health facility for the treating of those persons who do not have easy access to the major hospitals in Rivers State. Quickly, those who need emergency medical attention could be rushed there to receive first treatment that can sustain them before any transfer can be made. So those projects actually helped. But like I said earlier, some of them require rehabilitation, renovations and all of that, so that they can come up to the level where our people can still use them.
Okay, now when you talk about rehabilitation, renovation and all that, between when it was commissioned and now, I don't think it's quite lengthy period or so, which the wear and tear can just affect it. How is it? Because of crisis, or is it that it was underutilized? Why calling for rehabilitation now?
Well, when I call for rehabilitation, I call for saying because of what I'm seeing. I may not be here to now declare with authoritative finality as to whether the work was of good quality or not. I think that should be left for the engineers to do. I cannot also be here to judge as to what went wrong actually, because I know it's not crisis. We have been back from crisis for quite some time now, and there have been no further crisis in the community. The only thing I know is that looking at those facilities today, they are not functioning as they ought to function. Though some information I have, but yet unconfirmed, is that Total wants to do some things in that regard. Okay. Like the market I mentioned, somebody has been given that contract to renovate it. And I think he has started some work. Though whether or not he has finished, I think so far so good he has started. So the work is in progress.
Now, in your community structure,
yes.
What has kept your MOU with Total? Between then and now, have you been able to renew your MOU?
A very good question. I think I will address the viewers now. The truth is this: as regarding our MOU, the last MOU we had with Total expired 2017.
Okay.
Because that MOU was entered into dated 2013. It was supposed to run for 5 years, okay, with the tentative date of January 1st, 2013, and the termination date of 31st December 2017. Now, between that period and now, we've not been able to have a new MOU with Total, partly due to our own fault as a community, and I want to also say partly due to the fault of the company, because we have had some internal squabbles amongst us as to who should go and represent us before the company. As a matter of fact, there's even a case in the Port Harcourt State High Court there, Rivers State High Court holding in Port Harcourt. There's a case as regards MOU concerning Total and that of other IOCs operating within the area. But over and beyond that, we know as a people who have a structure of leadership, which Total is also aware of. Total had written several letters to our people requesting for nominations of negotiators and observers to enable Total and us negotiate and enter into a new MOU. And for such number of times they wrote to us, the paramount ruler as we have today, because we currently operate a gerontocracy where the oldest living person in the name and capacity of Newen Irumekwe governs the entire community. Of course, underneath him we have chiefs of certain villages. We are 8 villages in all, so each has a chief. Some of them also have the oldest living person in that community. As a man, he becomes the name of that particular community, but we have the overall, who today happens to be Oha Philip K. Enyinda. So as Total wrote to us severally, we also replied through that same office, giving them our nominations. But each time we book a date, Total will have one reason or the other why that date will not work. Either the manager has traveled, or that they've gotten another report or another letter, counteracting and trying to stop that particular letter written by the Newell. Whoever is in power has the onus to appoint officials working with him. And that the Newell has done, but Total has refused to recognize. That's why I said, in part, they are to blame.
Okay.
But why we are also to blame is because we have not been fully united. And we are saying, let the company look at the person in power. He has been recognized both in the law court. So there was a time they went to court when he was challenged. The court gave him victory.
That's the Newell.
Yes, the Newell has a court ruling today that empowers him to govern the community and to represent us anywhere, whether by himself or through his appointed representatives. Even in that same capacity, he was able to put in power the king of Ovele today, one Chief Dennis Oji, and put other CDC committee chairman. So if he has been able to do that, is it in the appointment of committee members to oversee our relationship with some of these oil companies operating in our area that he will not lack jurisdiction and power? So those are the things we are talking about. But there is this divide and rule principle they are applying, which we are saying no to. And we're also appealing to the management of the company to look at it critically. Let them retrace their steps and stop causing division. Until the Newell is removed or dies, he remains in power. Let whatever nomination he has given as respecting our MOE stand and be respected, and there will be peace in the community.
Is there any effort by the elites of Rumwepe to put this or to harmonize this leadership structure? Is there any effort?
Yes, so
because
far.
I know that you are one of the elites there.
Yes, so far so good. What we have done as a people is to see how we can reconcile the various factions, just for peace to reign.
Probably that's what Total is waiting for. Don't you think so?
Well, even if Total is waiting for that to happen, there can be vacuum in governance, which they forced on us, because today there is vacuum in governance.
Which means your MOU is yet to be written.
Till now, we don't have any valid MOU. Meanwhile, Total is continuing its operations in our area, and which is very bad. No MOU governing us, and today we don't have a clear committee representing us or interfacing between us and them. But their own operations are going on.
Okay, don't you think that by the time you resolve, you make your resolutions and then send an acceptable representative, they can backdate your MOU? Is it not?
Well, I'm not in position to say whether they can backdate or not.
No, by law, you're a professional. Just look at it that way.
No, I think let me answer it this way.
Yeah.
Sometime last year, being 2018, despite all the problems we had and disagreements, I think some of us were able to still meet with Total, the management of Total, either in our premises, and they gave us some understanding. They granted us some understanding. So we had something that should serve as our first MOU meeting with them, which officially was recorded. Just to break that jinx, if I would have lost last year. So what they told us was that when we finally succeed in concluding the MOU, 2018, which is last year, will also count for us. So I think, looking at it, that if they fulfill that, then we don't have any problem. Even this year too, I believe, will also, if they can record for 2018, that means automatically 2019 will also count. When we finally successfully negotiate and start implementing the new MOU,
that's right.
It should count.
Now, how do you look at their human capacity policy, as in maybe scholarships and then skills acquisition?
Well,
how do you look at that?
Yes, they have such features in most of the MOUs they had with communities, their host communities, including ours, because I've had the opportunity of looking at our own MOU. I've seen skill acquisition chances. I've also seen scholarship chances.
Of employment?
Employment chances are also there, but one thing is to have it in the MOU. Another thing is to implement it to the benefit of the community. I will explain that.
Yeah.
Now, for the skill acquisition, what we discovered was that the committee we set up to represent us did not do proper job there. And from the little I know, some chances were never utilized for the benefit of the community members. Even when some were utilized, the beneficiaries were underpaid. And then as regards scholarship chances, for 2 years, Total did not pay our people. And there is also backlog. However, I think very recently when I led some of our people and petitioned them before the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Community Affairs in Rivers State, I think we went on a certain Tuesday, I think 23rd or thereabout of May or thereabout. I can't really recall the exact date. But what happened was that we went on Tuesday of that week, but on Friday they paid 2 years, 2017 and 2018. So
of scholarships?
Yes, for the undergraduates, and I think those for secondary, post-primary. Because I think one of my very close mates was also benefited. Okay. That was how I knew. So sometimes...
So you are now insinuating that, or you are now asserting that your movement to the Ministry of Chieftaincy Affairs triggered that?
Yes, I would say yes, because before then, I've peacefully met the management and pleaded with them severally to offset some of this backlog. Our people have suffered in school. We have returned from crisis. I know in Nigeria it has not been too well economically for most families now. And I wanted them to support our people. Now we have chosen to go to school. We have a lot of persons who are in school from nursery to primary, secondary and tertiary. Some of our people are in their masters and even PhD. Unlike before, we have several educated, so many lawyers, so many doctors, engineers, what have you. But those of them in the system still suffering. Since we've already had such understanding with Total, they were supposed to pay our people, but these funds were denied them, which was part of the things that angered me. I said no. Having appealed to them severally, and they told me several stories, they will pay their company. I said, well, as we are about petitioning them, it was one of the key things I mentioned there that day before the ministry. And thank God they heeded it and paid immediately. Today, I must say I'm grateful, but most of our students today are smiling. Some of them received 300,000 naira, as much as that, 150 for a year. I think a student with that, I mean a university undergraduate, with that should be able to pay his fees, pay his rent, get some books. And that's what we want. So that we can encourage persons going to school, to do well. And also those of them who are thinking of carrying out arms, we discourage them. So I'm an apostle of anti-violence. I don't like it when youths are encouraged by way of any inducement to carry arms. So if the youth see that those in school are being properly treated, pampered, given whatever thing it requires for them to succeed, others will be encouraged to do that same line. Unlike when they are neglected and such funds given to those men of arms, it has a way of triggering that notion that, oh, it seems arms pay well in Nigeria. That's the problem we have in the society.
All right, Urumwepe right now, how can you describe the a security situation? Is it friendly for economic viability? I mean, for investment to thrive in that community right now as we speak?
Yes, frankly speaking, Urumwepe is very peaceful. I must tell you that. Unlike what people say on radio, for those who are very far, who don't know, the years of violence have since been passed. We We are no longer a violent people. Rumekwe is very peaceful. I'm telling you on a good authority. I go home without security. I've been home severally. If it wasn't safe, I would not be there. In the days of violence, I was not there. I did not go home for many years. But for me to go home without security, we should know Rumekwe is peaceful. Before now, we had no form of governance structure. All of that is in place now. I don't think such happens under the atmosphere of violence. All of that happened as we returned and we've agreed to remain there. And so far, so good. I don't think you can hear any rumor that anybody was killed in Rumekwe by a Rumekwe man or anything. No, there is no such report. And nobody can come out here now and tell me one Rumekwe man is chasing another Rumekwe man with arms. The environment is peaceful. Maybe the multinationals can attest to that. They've been going there for the operations. No one has harassed them in recent years or times. So anybody wishing to invest can come. And I also appeal both to the government and the private sector to turn their eyes towards Rumekwe and do whatever thing they can to restore our past glory. So I would like every one of those companies operating to come together and see how we can give Rumekwe a surface lift. As for peace, we are a peace-loving people. The atmosphere is peaceful, the environment is peaceful. In fact, there's better cohesion now. All we need is for the government to partner with these IOCs and develop the town. For those destroyed buildings, they can rebuild. Now we have schools, everything is functioning well. So there are some things that still need to be done.
Now that Rumekwe has or is trying to have an effective leadership structure, I believe that those things, I'm optimistic that those things will come in play, because most times it's not the fault of the company. We've gone around to do some, assessment, some research, and we discover that it is actually the community representative. Even some of them, the beneficiaries, will sell these starter packs or will sell these skill acquisition chances and scholarship chances, even employment chances to some external bodies, and they remain docile. So what advice do you have for the community? What advice do you have for Total on a final note?
Well, my advice to the community, and over and beyond the camera, I talked about that even at community forum, is that first, if communities must get it right, they must send men of integrity who will go there and give them effective and proper presentation. Persons who are not fickle-hearted, persons who can look the authorities in the eye and tell them where they are wrong. Like I told you, even for our own efforts, our scholarship till now will not have been paid. Even if, as a community rep, the company promises you one thing or the other, job or whatever, over and beyond your benefits. Okay, we are saying if this money is not coming from their pocket, most of them are employees here in Nigeria, you will know the owners of the company. Even if they give you, still be able to speak the truth. Those are the people the communities should send to represent them. Once they get that, such persons can go there and ensure whatever chances, whether of employment, scholarship, or skill acquisition, will get to the community. So you can't tell where you might meet those boys tomorrow. If you must get the society to be safer for all of us, not only persons from my community, but as a society now, me, River State, Nigeria, and even Africa, even in the world, we must remove greed from ourselves and see how we can, rather than divide, unite the people by doing what is proper. You cannot own the whole world. No man has been able to own the whole world. No man will ever be. So be content with the little you have and do what is right. When communities send their representatives, provided you know it's coming from the right channel, whether or not such persons have right business relationship with you, accept them. Your part is to accept what the community produces and guide them properly. Even if you feel they are not well educated, they are not capable, or they are not going to protect your interests, take them.
So far, it is coming from the community.
And ensure you guide them aright and monitor whatever projects those committees claim to execute in the town. That's the case in Rumegwe. There was no proper monitoring or evaluation. If they can do that, all of us will be happy.
Thank you so much, Barrister Ezugo Manuel, for this detailed explanation you've given to the CSR policies of Total E&P to your your community and even the community beyond. Well, this is the much we can take on today's episode of CSR Digest. CSR Digest will come your way again next week, God willing. Until then, bye.